Ayun, magandang gabi sa lahat. Welcome to the new episode of the BitPinas Webcast, an online show where we interview the people who move the crypto industry forward here in the Philippines. My name is Michael. Ako po ang editor-in-chief ng BitPinas. I started covering crypto here in the country since 2017. And so 6 years na tayo sa BitPinas, which is now the longest standing crypto publication here in the country. So I would like to thank our readers and our viewers dito sa webcast for being with us in the last 6 years. And for tonight, we have prizes then for the trivia question courtesy of Beachers Labs and sa segment ni Lance later. So, hindi na natin panatagalin ang ating topic for today is crypto hype and influencer responsibilities, which is something na I believe very, very important at this point in time ng ating bear market, no? So, hindi natin palatagalin. I would like to bring up on stage si Attorney Marian Vanslembrouck. Ayan. Ayun, magandang gabi, Attorney Marian.
Good evening, Mike.
Ayun, welcome to the BitPinas Webcast. So, bago tayo magsimula, no, meron lang tayong medyo icebreakers to get the audience to get to know you better. No, so teka, iaakit lang natin yung ating yan. So, i-introduce ko lang muna si Attorney Marian. She is a fintech and blockchain lawyer who previously worked with leading corporate law firms here in the Philippines. Ang expertise niya is a broad range actually of financial products and services, including syempre cryptocurrency, digital assets, and mga regulatory issues. And in fact, Attorney Marian was our guest in one of the Bitcoin beer and bit stories that we had at Draper Startup House, I believe last February, no? And most recently, Attorney Marian was the Associate General Counsel at Enjin. So a Singapore-based company behind one of the top 100 crypto in the world, which is yung Enjin coin. And recently then, a Legal 500 awardee, no, GC Powerlist 500 top in-house counsel here in the country, no. So ito yung isa ata, I believe itong picture na that we have here on screen is when you receive itong award ba ito. Can you tell us more about this?
Yes, of course. So the Legal 500, it's a premier institution for lawyers usually, and they usually like recognize top performing lawyers in several jurisdictions. And this award was really for the work not only that I did, but also my team at Enjin, where we basically provided legal guidance on like software products, different kinds of like digital wallets, tech transactions, NFT marketplaces, and I even handled over 30 different countries and over 30 different law firms with regard to IP protection and enforcement for engines, specifically for trademarks and copyrights. So with that, I think like they were interested in the work that we did, especially the legal aspect, and they reached out asking me to describe the work, the legal work that we've been doing at Enjin. And afterwards, they informed me that I was luckily and part of the awardees.
Congratulations, no? And I think medyo not many people actually would have the opportunity to have this particular award, no? And really congratulations on this one, Attorney Marian. And the next thing that I would like to discuss is when we first met you on the Bitpinas team, is that you were part of Enjin, one of the top 100 cryptocurrencies, one of the top 100 blockchains, and if I remember correctly, this is also one of my first blockchain wallet, itong Enjin wallet, di ba? So, can you tell us more about the work that you, or ganito na lang, like, how is it like working for a blockchain company such as Enjin?
It's it's very fulfilling and it's also very interesting because no one day is the same. You get exposed to so many different tech agreements, licensing agreements, partnerships with big companies, for example, like Square Enix, Microsoft, Amazon. So it's something that you really you I get really excited about, especially when I was there. And you're also surrounded by people who are very smart. So you can also try to keep up with them. So it's a great environment to be in.
Ayun. And I believe because this is the Enjin blockchain, you naturally work with gamers and gaming companies. And I think in segue to our topic for today, which is crypto hype and influencer responsibilities. So alam naman ng ating mga audience how popular was play to earn games and cryptocurrency in general since 2021 or since 2020 no nung nag nung nag-boom talaga. And one of the major reasons I would say that many people get to know about crypto, about Bitcoin and blockchain is of course because of the role that influencers and online personalities basically and people like us to um to educate or inform people of this thing of crypto, of Bitcoin, of blockchain. And dito sa atin, sa Pilipinas, sa Tony Marian, we know that there are many companies that are crypto companies, blockchain companies. And since they have tokens, they have their own cryptocurrencies most of the time, or just de facto na they are working with crypto. Can you let us know paano ba yung ano nyo? For example, you do marketing, di ba? On a company because naturally you need to market your product, your crypto. How does it usually work when you are promoting a financial product? Does it have to go to the legal first? For example, you are posting a social media post or Facebook post or you're going to have a promotion. Ano ba yun? Parang yung language ba of the post itself, does it need to go to legal or does it really varies from company to company, I would say?
So of course, like different companies would have different like structures or different workflows. But for us, most, if not all, marketing material would always go through legal. And during my time at Enjin, that was one of the things that I actually did on a day-to-day basis. So, if you're a company that is careful and you want to ensure that you're in compliance with the law, I would highly recommend that when you actually post marketing material, you run it through your legal department, especially since the crypto industry right now is actually quite regulated since it's a downturn. So you have regulators that are trying to look out for consumers. It's best that you run it through legal. For simple like basically like legal will obviously most of the time point out that you must not use language that overhype your product, so to speak. So like I know it's like natural for most of us to be like enthusiastic or excited about our products, but we must remember that we must avoid language that would overhype, for example, the potential returns of like the token. So instead of like overhyping that this token will get you 100% return, it's better if you focus on educating your users about the technology behind it, the platform, the problems that intends to address, and potential benefits. So you can also like there are also considerations like avoid using icons or like the rocket icon or the money bag icon or even like the dollar sign or the stock chart like showing the stock going up. So simple things like this which we tend to overlook in our normal marketing in our normal marketing materials just because sometimes we're very excited about our product. So like simple things about that should really help if you actually pass it through your legal officer.
Ayun. You mentioned yung ano no, yung mga emojis like yung rocket or yung as you mentioned yung mga money bags and I specifically remember one of the US SEC cases ata wherein one of the blockchain founders himself was actually the one who tweeted itong something that involves the rocket or the money bag emojis then. So, meron bang ano yun? Like this is more on the company, the founder itself, and also the people who are also, for example, yung mga influencers lang or the regular people. Meron bang like difference? Like for example, if the founder does it this way na yung mga money bags or kapag naman yung mga regular investors lang yung nagpo-post ng ganun or nag-hype about about the cryptocurrency or the product itself?
So obviously, if it's someone from the company, that's more glaringly regulated, and it's not like I don't want to be misquoted here. It's not like just the mere fact of using those emojis that can get you into legal hot water, but it's the circumstances surrounding it. And usually it's because these emojis normally accompany statements promising returns. So that's why it's very tricky from a legal perspective. On the other hand, if a normal user would use these emojis to promote or invite people to invest in certain projects, although it's less, I would say, legally risky, you should also note that in the Philippines, the Philippine SEC, under the Securities Regulation Code, still actually penalizes those who actually promote unregistered securities. So if it is found that the token that you're promoting is actually an unregistered security, you can actually be held liable by the SEC. And we also have a new law, which is the Financial Products and Services Consumer Protection Act. We'll call it the FCPA here moving forward. So basically what it says is that if you like help solicit or offer or sell some sort of security or investment scheme like from the public, so even like by posting online on Facebook, on social media, and you don't have a license or permit from the either the SEC or the BSP, this could actually constitute investment fraud. And it's a violation of not only the Securities and Exchange Securities Regulations Code, but also the FCPA. So I think we can discuss more about this later on during the webinar.
I would have an additional parang follow-up lang. So when companies themselves post about their product, no. So one specific example of this company na hindi na natin babanggit is that they will post about a cryptocurrency, and then sa mismong post is like meron ding parang disclaimer na this is not financial advice, ganyan. Although parang ang dating sa consumers that parang ayaw na magbenta. I mean, sabi mo, ito, bilhin nyo, pero teka lang. So parang, is that okay, or mas maganda yung sinasabi mo kanina na parang just be careful with the language itself, yung mga ganun.
That's okay to add, but right now the same FCPA actually requires there are a few things that companies should actually look at, especially when they're advertising on their platforms. So for one, they must make sure that what they're talking about or what they're advertising is actually honest and accurate. So it must not contain any like false, misleading information or even like deceptive statements, or try to leave out like important statements that would actually influence the consumer's decision whether to buy or use the service. So usually, in the terms and conditions, when you advertise, you should actually include like three things. One, the contact details for like handling any complaints. So if they have an internal department responsible for addressing complaints, that should be included. Their regulation status is number two. So usually, if it's a company registered with the SEC, you can say that you're a regulated entity under the SEC. And then if it's a payments company or a VAS with a license under the BSP, you can also say that you're regulated by the BSP. And thirdly, you should also include the contact information of the regulatory authority. So if it's the SEC, the contact information of the SEC. It's the BSP, the contact information for the BSP. Basically, just trying to be truthful, accurate, and transparent whenever you advertise to consumers, especially in their marketing materials.
Ayun. Thank you so much, Attorney Marian, for that, no? And one of the things that was mentioned right now sa comment section is ito, no? Parang, wala. Parang DYOR, do your own research pa nakiputa. So, Jericho, later, after in segment natin sa trivia, we will be discussing this, no? About kung kapag ba nagsabi yung tao or yung company or yung influencer or social media person na do your own research or not financial advice, does it absolve immediately the person who said that just in case something went wrong? So, yan yung pag-uusapan natin after itong trivia portion with Lance. So, Lance?
Ayan. Hello guys. Alam kong marami tayong natutunan ngayong gabi dito sa BitPinas Webcast, no? Together with Atty. Marian, no? On the ethical boundaries and responsibilities ng mga influencers when it comes to promoting and advertising cryptocurrencies and other blockchain technologies. Meron akong magandang balita sa inyo guys. Gusto nyo ng magandang balita? GM lang. So we will be giving away 100,000 satoshis, no? Sa mga kasagot ng aming mga trivia questions. And of course, another 100, dalawang 100,000 satoshi sa mga active, no? Sa ating comment section. So, anong gagawin ninyo para manalo sa ating trivia questions? Number 1, you need to like and follow our Facebook fan page at BitPinas. Ayan ha. I-like ninyo ang aming fan page. And pangalawa, second is to share this live stream publicly on your Facebook profile. Remember, kinakailangan public ang inyong post para makita namin, makita ng lahat, no? And you will get a sharer badge. Okay? So we will be giving away 600,000 satoshis overall. Are you excited to win 100,000 satoshis? Ayan, hindi pesos ha, satoshis ha, lilinawin namin yan, okay? So, this satoshis is brought to you by BitShares Labs. BitShares Labs help businesses establish their digital presence and thrive in the online world. Visit fb.com/BitSharesLabs to learn more. Ayan. So, we will be announcing the winners, okay, of our trivia after the live stream. So, tutok lang sa ating BitPinas fan page. Are you ready? No? We will be asking 4 trivia questions and we will be selecting 1 winner each question for a total of 4 winners. And in addition to that, we will be selecting 2 who are active. Don't forget to type in the correct answer in the comment section of our live stream. Now, are you ready, guys, for our first question? Ready? Question number 1. Attorney Marian Vanslembrouck was a legal counsel of this top 100 blockchain and crypto company. Okay? So si Attorney Marian ay naging legal counsel of this top 100 blockchain and crypto company. So what is this company? Okay? So bibigyan ko kayo ng clue, no? This blockchain is built with NFT functions right at the protocol layer and a pioneer in blockchain gaming before blockchain gaming was popular. So once again, for our first question, Attorney Marian Vanslembrouck was legal counsel of this top 100 blockchain and crypto company firm. Okay? So don't forget to type in the correct answer in the comment section of our live stream. Okay? Like our Facebook fan page at BitPinas and share our live stream publicly on your Facebook profile to get a share badge. Okay? Nakasagot na ba kayo? Ha? Good. So are you ready for the second question? Okay, naglalabo na naman yung aking camera. Okay? So the question number 2, no? So are you ready? Ang tanong, question number 2. What year did BitPinas first started? So once again, what year or when? No? What year did BitPinas first started? So anong taon niya, no? Kung kailan kami nag-umpisa, nag-umpisa na maglupo yung webcam, ano? Pero bago ako maglaho dito, no? Don't forget na i-like ninyo ang aming fan page at BitPinas and share this live stream publicly. Don't forget to answer the correct answer in our comment section. So once again, maraming salamat, no? Teka lang, maraming salamat sa inyo sa mga nakatutok ngayon sa ating BitPinas webcast. And don't worry for those who unable to answer our questions because meron pa tayong isa pang set ng 2 tanong mamaya. So once again, this is Michael Lance and back to you, Mike and Attorney Marian.
Ayun, maraming salamat, Lance, no, kahit medyo parang nagsisensored ka. But thank you so much sa mga sumagot sa ating questions and huwag kayong mag-alala, mayroon pa later. No? So, now we're back with Attorney Marian. This is our segment on ethical considerations for crypto influencers. And when we say crypto influencers, it doesn't mean lang talaga yung actually social media personality, di ba? Everyone who is a thought leader, everyone who is pushing their content online, writing, even us, ganyan, are considered influencers then. No? So, Attorney Marian, are there legal considerations that influencers should be aware of first and foremost? I think kahit hindi to sa crypto, no? But more on in general, meron bang mga legal considerations dito?
Actually, I think the most important consideration that influencers, especially crypto influencers, should be aware of, and we touched upon this a bit earlier, was that if you actually recruit or invite others or solicit others to invest in crypto schemes, in crypto ventures, you can actually in the Philippines incur criminal liability. So both under the Securities Regulation Code and the Financial Products and Services Consumer Protection Act. And what does this mean for you? You can face fines of up to 5 million separately. So under the SRC and under the FCPA, so that can go up to 10 million. You can also be imprisoned for up to 21 years. So it's really a big consideration if you try to solicit or invite others to invest, especially in projects which you haven't even done your research on, but are maybe nasisilaw because of the possible returns. So like that's one of the biggest considerations that social media influencers should think about.
Thank you, Attorney Jen. No? So now we know, and especially sa mga nagbabasa ng BitPinas, we really post, di ba, kapag may mga SEC advisories, and laging nakalagay yan kapag if you get penalized, yun nga, 21 years of imprisonment, so basically parang half na ng adult life natin, and then 21 million na pesos in fine. So, Attorney, kapag pa, on the subject naman of crypto influencers, no, does it have to be na parang, do they have to be financial, parang, may tawag yun, di ba? Parang licensed financial something ka ba? Do you need to be that in order to actually tell people to about crypto or hindi naman kailangan?
Hindi naman kailangan. So you don't necessarily need to be a licensed financial advisor. Like anyone can share about their experience online. However, they should just refrain or from providing specific financial advice unless they're licensed to do so. So yun yung medyo tricky, like drawing the line there. So if you're unsure, it's best to consult your own legal counsel, just so that you're on the right side of the law, so to speak.
Thank you, no? And this is a very important takeaway on having your own legal counsel. So having your own lawyer, especially if you're going to create a project or a company. So that is one of the first things that we did also in BitPinas when we first registered. No, we make sure na meron kami lawyer just in case, di ba? Di natin alam kasi we are posting, we're writing content, we don't know who are we. Basically just consult a lawyer or have a lawyer in your team, even on retainer, di ba? I think that is really very important. And for me, actually, step 1 yun on anything. So, thank you so much on that, no? And medyo dumadami yung mga viewers natin. I believe this is really a very important topic, no? Shout out sa inyo lahat. Keith, si Master Kamote, I think nakita ko kanina. Ito yung pinaka naririnig natin. when we hear someone enticing someone or shilling or promoting crypto, yung words like DYOR or do your own research or not financial advice. So makakakita ka parang, okay, di ba, parang social media, may video or may reel, may TikTok, sasabihin niya ganito, ganyan, but and then sa dulo, remember, this is not financial advice, do your own research. Paano ba to, attorney? Okay lang ba yun? I mean, di ba, lagi ganun lagi may ganun sa dulo. So, is that, parang, does it absolve immediately the person? Na, halimbawa, bumili ako ng crypto because of someone telling me about it do sa social media person. But he also said na parang not financial advice. And then parang nag-rug pull or bumaksak yung token or yung project. Does it absolve responsibility?
Okay, so these disclaimers are very, very common sa, sa space natin. And the simple answer is no, it definitely doesn't absolve you of responsibility because you can call a pig a chicken, but at the end of the day, it's still a pig. So in the same sense that even if you say do your own research, this is not financial advice, I am not encouraging you to invest in this token, if the totality of the circumstances actually say otherwise or actually show that you're providing financial advice or encouraging people to invest in a certain token, you can actually be held liable for that. So it's not a defense that you said that it's do your own research or it's not financial advice, especially since the Securities Regulation Code in the Philippines, it's a special law. So the thing with special laws in the Philippines is that good faith is not a defense. So even if you said that it's not do your own research, it's not financial advice, if you were actually soliciting people to invest in a certain project, you can actually be held liable here. So
Ayun.
again,
So,
consult with legal counsel.
ayun. So, thank you, attorney. No? So, nalinawan tayo on that one. No? Kapag even if someone says that you do your own research or this is not financial advice, it does not absolve you immediately from any penalty or any responsibility. And I think as mentioned kanina, no, yung example mo about calling the chicken, yun din kasi yun parang, for example, you said na, oh, not financial advice pero alam ko, aakyat tong token na to. Yung mga ganong, di ba? Yung mga ganong klase ng content. So, thank you so much on that, no, for clarifying that. So, my next question naman is, alam natin naman sa Philippines, even in the world of online, di ba? Hindi naman lahat SEC registered. So, for example, international project, which parang, di ba, playing a game or something. Um, pag ba nag-promote ka ng projects that are not SEC registered, is that okay? Parang okay lang ba yun? Or does it depend pa kung game ba yan or crypto ba yan or something?
So, to be very safe, it's always best to take a more conservative position, so to speak. So, in the Philippines, it's a set of do your own research steps that I would recommend people do. So, first is to actually offer securities in the Philippines. We're not saying like all tokens are securities, but there's always a possibility that the token that you're promoting can be considered a security, especially if you see that the token promotes like returns, guaranteed returns, or saying that, oh, like give us your money for like X days and then in 20 days you will receive like 50%. Yung mga ganun na products, those are very obviously securities. And if the company or the individuals promoting those kinds of products are not SEC registered, that's number one. You have to check if they're registered with the SEC. Number two, it's not enough that they're registered with the SEC. You must also check that they're actually allowed to offer securities to the public. And not even that, you also have to check if that's actual security is actually one that's been registered and that they've been allowed to promote. So like simple steps like that I think a lot of people forget to do just because like they're very excited about it. But I guess the short answer to your question is that in the Philippines, if it's something that's directed to Filipinos in the Philippines and it is not SEC registered and the company is also not authorized to offer securities, it is most probably not allowed. And if you promote or solicit people to invest in such a product, you can actually be held liable under the Securities and Regulation Code and the Financial Products and Services Consumer Protection Act.
Ayun, thank you, Attorney Marian. And narinig naman natin, no, hindi pala sapat na yung isang company is just registered with the SEC. Especially if this is about investment, they still need to have those secondary licenses na tinatawag for them to actually be allowed to solicit investment. So, madami tayong nakikitang ganyan, no, na parang SEC registered kami, which is actually true. Merong SEC registration. But actually they are not actually allowed to solicit investments kasi it needs secondary or more parang more registrations pa. So I think this is also one important takeaway from our discussion, no, Attorney Marian. And one of the questions here that I saw is kay Bot Tristan is if you are a project, a project tapos parang tinakbuhan daw ng developer yung project, or ano bang pwedeng gawin dito ng community to meron ba silang pwedeng takbuhan, kumbaga, para may court ba na pwede silang puntahan just in case a company parang nag-rug pull yung company, who can we turn into, kumbaga?
So it's usually like for this kinds of cases, it's usually the SEC and the BSP. And then also like you can obviously engage the services of a lawyer to file criminal charges. However, the challenge here is whether the Philippines still has jurisdiction over this person na tumakbo. Kasi minsan, like we've seen also in the international sphere that once certain nefarious actors in the crypto space are getting exposed, they suddenly disappear or die in a boating accident. So that's one of the challenges then, actually acquiring jurisdiction over the person so that appropriate cases can be filed. Another alternative is if, for example, they have property here, we can have them seized or freeze, or you can also file civil lawsuit. So it depends. It depends on what the situation is, but you're left with some recourse. It's not totally no recourse, especially if the people behind this or the devs are actually people that you know or are named, because you know some projects that you don't even know who the founders are. So like that adds another level of difficulty. But yes, keep it short and simple. There is some recourse available. And I think courts now are more sophisticated in understanding like the blockchain and crypto world. So it's not something totally new to them. It's not something that would leave you with no recourse.
Ayun, thank you so much, no. So according to Attorney Marian, merong legal recourse pa rin naman kahit papaano. But of course, case-to-case basis siya. If the person is someone that you know, maybe a Filipino citizen, so definitely parang meron kang recourse, no? Or if a Filipino company, you can go to our local courts, ganyan. So thank you so much on this, no. Now we have this question from Nato on disclosing naman sponsored content, or I'm not sure about adhering to anti-pumping and dumping rules, but meron ba tayong rules, attorney, for disclosing sponsored content na kapag binayaran yung influencer, do they need to actually tell people oh, we got sponsored or we got paid for telling you about this project, ganyan?
Okay, definitely. Like even if you just think about it ethically, you should transparently, if you're an influencer, you should really transparently disclose if like you have financial stake in the crypto currencies or tokens that you're promoting. So this would include if you were gifted any tokens or if you have a financial relationship with the projects. And it's also very, because remember earlier I talked about transparency and to how important it was to present facts accurately and to avoid any misrepresentation or misleading statements, especially for investors. So definitely, if there's some sort of financial interest that the influencer has, they should definitely disclose.
Ayun, thank you so much, Atty. Marian. Hopefully, naliwanagan na ating mga readers and ating mga watchers dito sa ating BitPinas Webcast. We have more about crypto influencer responsibility and personal responsibility in the crypto ecosystem, and more of your questions sasagutin ni Atty. Marian at ako kung alam ko. Pero for now, meron tayong trivia again with Lance.
Once again. Hello once again, guys, and thank you so much for tuning in this evening's BitPinas Webcast. So, I hope marami kayong natutunan, no? Natutunan together with Atty. Marian, no? Regarding the responsibilities of our crypto influencers, no? So, are you ready for our second round of trivia questions? Are you ready? No, but before we answer itong mga tanong na ito, don't forget to like our Facebook fan page at BitPinas and share this live stream publicly in your Facebook profile to get a sharer badge. So what will you do? Answer the following questions correctly in the comment section of the live stream. Okay? Make sure na yung sagot ninyo ay nasa comment section ng ating live stream. Mananalo kayo ng 100,000 satoshis, no, per question. So we will be selecting one winner per question for a total of 4 winners, and later we will also select another 2 who are actively engaged in our conversations. Ayan. So are you ready? Are you ready? No? So before that, we would like to acknowledge BitShares Labs, no? BitShares Labs, which help businesses establish their digital presence and thrive in the online world. Go to fb.com/BitSharesLabs to learn more. Are you ready for our third question? Okay, so here is our third question. What do you call the people on social media who build a reputation and following because of their content, knowledge, and expertise on a topic or a combination of them? So once again, what do you call the people on social media who have built a reputation and following because of their content, knowledge, expertise on a topic or a combination of them? No? Kung nakinig kayo sa ating talakayan kanina, you will be able to answer our third question. No? Kaya yung sagot na yan, no? Mananalo ay may tatanggaping 100,000 satoshi. Okay? So, last repetition. What do you call the people on social media who have built a reputation and following because of their content, knowledge, and expertise on a topic or a combination of them? Okay, so answer our question correctly in our comment section in this live stream. Okay, so are you ready? Sa mga hindi makakasagot, no, are you ready for our fourth question? Okay, our last question. Okay, are you ready? Okay, so ito yung ating last question for tonight. Name at least one writer or contributing writer at BitPinas aside from our editor-in-chief. Okay? So name at least one writer or a contributing writer at BitPinas aside from the editor-in-chief. No, madali lang siguro yan kung nagbabasa kayo ng ating mga articles. Okay? So don't forget to like our Facebook fan page at BitPinas. Don't forget to share our live stream at your Facebook profile publicly to get the sharer badge and answer our questions correctly para manalo kayo ng 100,000 satoshis. We will be selecting one winner per each question for a total of 4 winners. Okay? And we will be announcing the winners after the live stream at our to be posted on our Facebook fan page at BitPinas. Okay, so good luck guys, no? I hope nakatutok pa rin kayo, no? Marami pa tayong matututunan dito kay Attorney Marian regarding the responsibilities of these influencers, no? Particularly in the crypto space and the blockchain technology. Ayan, so maraming salamat, no, sa mga nag-participate sa ating trivia question and answers. My name is Michael Lance, and back to Mike and Attorney Marian.
Ayun, no? Shout out sa nagsabing SBF. So, hindi siya nagsulat sa BitPinas Densi. And ganun yung mga questions natin ngayon because we are also celebrating ito ang 6 years ng BitPinas. So, we have been writing about the crypto and blockchain industry here in the country since then, no? So, teka. Ayan, si Attorney Marian. So, welcome back, Attorney. And sa ating mga viewers, if you still have questions, we have here Attorney and myself to answer kapag you have questions that you might want to bring up. So Attorney, clarify lang natin, no, if the project nag-drag pull yung project, what is the immediate influencer responsibility?
So obviously the immediate influencer responsibility is you have to make sure that you clarify the situation, like you inform the followers of what's happening, and also seek legal advice immediately, especially if you've knowingly or even if you haven't knowingly promoted a scam project. That's why if you're an influencer, you must do your due diligence, even if like this company is offering to pay you like hundreds of thousands of Philippine pesos or even US dollars. Because not only will you face legal challenges, you might also face like reputational harm as an influencer, like be known as the influencer that actually encouraged a rug pull. I mean, I think I saw one of the commenters mention it, and it's correct. In the States, the most famous case is Kim Kardashian, who was actually fined a few million for promoting a scam project. There's also, I think, Pitboy Crypto was also named in a lawsuit for promoting unregistered securities. So again, also still do your own research as an influencer, even if some of these companies come to you with very lucrative deals, if so to speak.
Ayun, and may mga nagtatanong din sa ating comments on kung meron na daw bang nakasuhan dito. And actually, there is, no, meron tayong mga or nakasuhan, nag-face charges na ipopost namin sa comment section. And from one of the articles at BitPinas on the side of the SEC, parang madami daw silang parang nakahain na kaso on around 200 ata or 300 people na involved sa mga scams and sa mga unregistered na mga securities. So meron namang merong mga nakakasuhan na ganyan, and siguro na ano lang natin, no, na parang nabi-bring up lang kasi minsan daw, attorney, parang nangyari na yung rug pull bago dumating yung regulators. Like for example, parang ito na yung project, ganyan, ang dami ang dami nang bumili, and then nag-rug pull, and then parang 2 weeks pa or 1 month pa lang later darating yung advisory, for example, ng regulator. So, paano kaya yun? So, ang ano ko dyan actually is parang syempre, as long as if parang madami ginagawa yung regulator, di ba? So, yun lang yung naisip ko na parang paano kaya yung mapapabilis if ever kung meron kong insight on this or suggestion na parang imbis na dumating tayo dun sa rug pull event, parang mas stop na siya before that.
Yeah, so again, it really goes back to you being a smart investor. Kasi smart investors tayo, no? Follow tayo ng BitPinas. So we know at least the basics. So I'll repeat like what you should check first as a smart individual investor. So first is you check the SEC, so sec.gov.ph website. And they usually actually put advisories on companies who are operating without either a certificate of incorporation from the SEC or they're not allowed to offer securities. So yun yung first step mo. Check mo if nandun siya sa list ng advisory sa SEC kasi they usually post a list of those who are not authorized to solicit investments from the public. Okay, so first step mo, ginawa mo yon. Tapos wala sa list, so clear ka. And that list is long, ha? It goes back several years. So click mo lang, load lang. Pero you've finished loading everything and it's not on the list. So check ka na naman with the SEC online. You can actually search if it's registered as a corporation. So hanap mo yung name niya kapag lumabas siya as a corporation. Oh, and then if ever meron, that's a good sign. Also, you can also check if it's a registered bank, exchange, or company with engaged in digital assets with the BSP kasi pwede din yun. There's also an online list somewhere that you can look and then check dun if the company is there. And then I think basic reminders, if it sounds too good to be true, it's probably a scam. So like I think common sense will tell us like normal interest earnings for like several products here in the Philippines, mga 4 to 7%. Yung 7% malaki na yun. So if you have someone offering you even 20% return, 50% return, and even 1,000% return of the money you put in, kabahan ka na kasi those are wild returns that are very suspicious. Or if someone tries to pressure you by saying, oh, this deal will end tomorrow, or it's actually just available for a select few investors or select few friends because I have insider information, you also should be careful. So at the end of the day, it's really, although we have the regulators, the best defense that we have is ourselves and our knowledge of where to look and check that these companies are actually legitimate companies authorized to solicit investments from the public.
Ayun, thank you so much, Attorney Marian. Napakahaba nung mga list ng pwede natin gawin, starting with the checking of the SEC website, which yun nga, may list doon going back to several years. And then, yun nga, if it is too good to be true, 1,000% yield, di ba? Parang, budget, anuhin muna natin, like, for example, this is a new token. Can it really do parang 1,000% yield? And does it, for example, yung company niya, yung team, can they do what they promise to do knowing that meron ding mga malalaki projects who are doing the same thing as them, 'di ba? So, i-up ko lang yung some of the questions or some of the comments no, ng ating mga readers, and one of the question is sabi ni Marshall, parang wala naman daw nakulong. So actually meron, no. I specifically remember 2019 when one of the Bitcoin promoters dito sa Pinas, who is not actually doing Bitcoin, kumbaga konti lang talaga yung Bitcoin, nakulong siya, and medyo highly publicized yun kasi at that time it was really a big amount na parang almost 1 billion pesos. And why it was very memorable is because yung quote niya na parang sabi niya, parang pakawalan nyo lang ako, I will make sure I can return the money kapag parang iti-trade niya ulit, ganyan. So may mga nakulong po sa mga ganitong mga cases. And then another question here is kung accountability naman daw ng mga followers who also hype the project. So if you go, kapag nababasa natin yung mga SEC advisories, actually nakasulat doon, no, anyone who promotes the project will be held liable. So nireplace ko na, pero ganun yung promoters, influencers, and anyone involved on the project will be held liable, and their names will be sent to the BIR. May mga ganong nakalagay doon sa mga advisory na SEC. So, eto may curious question dito, Attorney Marian, on securities. So, do you agree daw ba with the US SEC definition of security, or is that clearer here in the Philippines?
Okay, so you'd be surprised to know that the Securities and Regulation Code is actually highly patterned of the Philippines. It's actually highly patterned against the U.S. Securities and Exchange Act. So the Howey test, which is talked about a lot with regard to U.S. security is also actually a test that's recognized and actually used in several Supreme Court cases here in the Philippines. So basically, the Howey test of a security is there an investment of a sum of money? And usually, most crypto projects will hit this because there's always some kind of money or value involved. And then the second question is, was there a common enterprise in the sense that the investors' monies were pooled together for an alleged profit-making venture? And this one is also normally hit. The third and the fourth criteria, which is whether there was an expectation of profits on the part of the investors, and the fourth, which is derived primarily from the efforts of others, doon na tayo nakakatalo usually. So that's why we're very careful when we talk about that. When you try to talk about your project, don't try to promote it with the expectation that you will actually get profits for you doing nothing, just by buying a coin, just by buying a token, just by holding it, and then you expect profits just by that simple act. So that's where usually you toe the line, because the two first criteria, investment of money in a common enterprise, usually that one is hit. The last two, which is the expectation of profits on the part of its investors, derived primarily from the efforts of others. That's usually where you can kind of argue that no, our token is not a security, etc. So do I agree with the definition in the US? Definitely, because that is actually the law here in the Philippines. The Howey test is also what is used to determine whether a digital asset is a security here in the Philippines.
Ayun. Thank you, Attorney Marian. And napapansin din namin actually when we write about, SEC articles, they heavily quote nga yung the things that are even mentioned by the US SEC, no? And yung how we test. Dapat pala isa yung sa trivia question natin. One of the questions naman here is kapag ba from NATO, again, thank you NATO, no? You've been very in this webcast. Ano ba yung pwedeng ano yung ikakaso basically kapag sa promoter ika nga kapag nalaman na yun nga nag-drug pull or something.
So you can usually bring this to the SEC Enforcement and Investor Protection Department for violation of securities laws, and right now also violations of the Financial Products and Services Consumer Protection Act.
Ayun, thank you so much. And i-bring up lang natin, ito daw, no, may SEC office, pero sa far-flung areas, may mga ganyan na may mga ganyang project. Minsan meron pa nga sa Netflix, di ba, na nandito pa sa Pilipinas, and then sa medyo far-flung area pala yung headquarters, ika nga. And sabi ni Brian, ingat sa mga pinapasukang projects, which is, yun nga, sabi ni Attorney Marian kanina, if something is too good to be true, kumbaga, yun na yun, ibig sabihin mag-ingat na tayo. So, this has been a very, very interesting and very enlightening discussion with you, Attorney Marian. Thank you for being here. And I guess our key takeaway dito sa BitPinas Webcast, our key takeaways is that as individuals, we really need to do our own research, no? And not just research, dapat correct yung research mo, especially here in the crypto industry where there is finance that is involved. So, di ba, sabi nga natin sa blockchain, di ba, we don't trust, we verify. So, whatever we hear on social media, whatever we read, it is important that we do our own verification ourselves. So, influencers, so those who are watching, we need to be very responsible, no, in our posts, in the things that we share. And we are not, naman, kasi syempre, a lot of people want to be influencers, di ba? People who are very young, they want to be influencers when they grow up, and there's really nothing wrong with that, no? The real challenge for us is, as an influencer, we have power, no? We have power, we have influence. It is up to you to use it for the good, no? And for the benefit of our growing crypto industry. So, a huge thank you to Attorney Marian for sharing your wisdom and insights dito sa atin sa BitPinas. Your expertise dito sa crypto has really given us, food for thought, ika nga, for practical guidance then for navigating this ecosystem, this crypto ecosystem, especially here in the country. So, Attorney Marian, if you have any final words, and where can people find you?
Okay, so I would like to thank everyone tonight for taking the time to be more aware about like what the regulations are in the Philippines. And I hope that you leave this webinar with a more increased sense of security for your hard-earned money. Also, if you have any questions or require legal guidance in the tech, blockchain, privacy domain, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can email me at marian.vanslembrouck@gmail.com. And I look forward to the opportunity of working with anyone who reaches out and helping you and your team navigate the legal complexities of this space.
Ayun. Thank you so much, Attorney. And to our audience, really thank you for your very active participation dito sa ating webcast. So, medyo thought-provoking nga yung ilan sa mga question, no? And you really greatly contributed sa ating discussion. So, shout out JP, Jericho, sa inyo sa lahat dito. Maraming salamat for tuning in. And thank you to Beachers Labs for supporting our webcast prizes for today. So, hanggang sa susunod, really stay curious everyone, and hanggang sa susunod na episode ng BitPinas Webcast. Maraming salamat.